Oh my God, Brooklyn Beckham just addressed all of what was going on with his family on his Instagram stories. So, screenshot if you want to read. This is where it starts to get crazy. So,
Brooklyn Beckham is finally talking about the feud between him, his wife, and his parents, and contrary to what people might think, it might not be who they blamed that is the reason. A lot of people have blamed Nicola, saying she's the reason why Brooklyn and his parents are no longer speaking. Someone said Brooklyn Beckham wasn't the same ever since he married Nicola Pelts. She manipulated and brainwashed him. And now Brooklyn, a married guy, couldn't even decide which career he would do because he failed in football, photography, and his so-called chef career, and he blocked his own family. People have been blaming Nicole, saying that it's because her parents are rich and so she doesn't want to put up with her in-laws because she feels like she has the money to fund any lifestyle she likes. And this even came worse, especially when Brooklyn and Nicole had a wedding renewal 3 years after their marriage, which none of Brooklyn's parents or family attended. Only Nicole's parents and family attended this wedding renewal. But some people understand the situation, saying this is because Nicola didn't have the wedding of her dream because she was having issues with her mother-in-law. There is some news line from during their wedding that came out. One was Victoria Beckham left son Brooklyn's bride Nicola Pelts in tears at their wedding after ruining their dance. A source tells people that Brooklyn Beckham and his wife Nicola Pelts were hurt after Brooklyn's mother Victoria allegedly hijacked a dance at the couple's 2022 wedding. This came out then and people were saying the source was wrong, but Brooklyn did some exposing of the issue between him and his parents, and this actually was very correct. And apart from this, she also had a lot of problem with her mother-in-law deciding on the wedding dress she was supposed to wear. I felt like as a bride, you should be the one to choose your wedding dress. Even if you want to wear a wedding dress from your mother-in-law's fashion brand, it should be because you want to, not because she forces you to. Another headline talking about the fact that Victoria and Nicole clashed over the wedding dress she was supposed to choose. Victoria and Nicole clashed on several occasions. Nicola chose Valentino to design her wedding dress instead of her mother-in-law's fashion brand, and this is one of the reasons why Victoria and Nicole doesn't see eye to eye. And as we both know, Nicola's parents are billionaires, so she doesn't really need any money from the Beckham family, or the Beckham family cannot use money to hold her down or to blackmail her or keep her in the family or keep her in line. So she can do whatever she wants to do, especially when her mother-in-law took her couple's first dance and turned it into a mother-to-son dance. But then, at the end of last year, Daily Mail said that David and Victoria Beckham unfollowed their estranged son Brooklyn Beckham. As is revealed, he would spend Christmas with his wife Nicola Pelts' billionaire family amid family feud because he didn't spend Christmas or New Year with his family. But when Daily Mail said David and Victoria were the ones that unfollowed Brooklyn, the brother Chris Beckham said, "Not true. My mom and dad would never unfollow their son. Let's get the facts right. They woke up blocked, as did I." Trying to say that the parents were not the one that unfollowed Brooklyn, but Brooklyn blocked everybody in his family. And this got people talking, trying to say that Brooklyn is bad again, or that his wife is controlling him, and that he's the one that doesn't want to relate or talk to his parents, while his parents are trying to relate or talk to him. And people were now giving their opinion. Someone said, this is so messy and crazy. For a family that used to control their image so much to the point they were even able to make people forget David cheated on Victoria. And yes, the Beckham family are very, very strong on Beckham brand, on holding onto their family image, holding onto the Beckham brand family, holding onto the brand that they have built, not just as individuals, but as a family, a high-class family in the celebrity world. So this kind of messy situation about their family coming into the open and people getting to know about it is quite different. And someone says she should have stopped being an overbearing boy mom, talking to Victoria, and not pull that stunt at his wedding, acting goofy and made him choose between her and his wife. Another of his brother was dating Brooklyn ex, like that was okay, and that was very disrespectful. Dating your brother's ex with his wife present, bringing his ex to family functions that him and his wife are expected to attend. That doesn't really make sense. There are a lot of women in this world that you can date. You don't need to date your brother's ex. This is the brother Romeo Beckham and Kim, Brooklyn's ex. And they had to break up at first. Some people were blaming the ex for being the reason why the parents and the brother or the family in general were having issues. And then after they broke up, the ex actually came out to clear herself, trying to say that she was not the reason why. The ex went, "I've avoided speaking on this topic to prevent adding fuel to fire. However, it's come to a point where I feel the need to address it so I can move on. I will not continue to receive harassment or be embarrassed on the basis of lie to fit a certain narrative. I have never been romantically involved in any capacity at any point with the person in question. Nothing between us has occurred further than a school friendship at that time. But now Brooklyn is coming out to say that Kim wasn't saying the truth. And it's very funny because currently right now, Romeo and Kim are dating again, while Brooklyn and his wife are no longer in contact with his family. And then the family of Brooklyn Beckham has always been doing a lot of things that pushes people's heartstrings to have them have an issue and think that Brooklyn Beckham is actually the reason for the problem. Because during the festive period where David Beckham made a post showing all his family members, pictures of him and his family members, and none of the pictures included Brooklyn Beckham or his wife, people started commenting and talking, and Victoria Beckham had to go to her Instagram story and posted a picture of David Beckham and young Brooklyn Beckham writing, "I love you all so much," and people went again talking, telling Brooklyn Beckham he should talk to his family, go back and beg them, go back and reconcile, dragging his wife, insulting his wife, telling her that she's the reason why a family she married into started having issues between themselves immediately after she was married. Because immediately and even before their wedding day, people were already saying that Nicole and Victoria were not seeing eye to eye. But even immediately from their wedding day, problems were already arising. And people were blaming Nicole so bad that Nicole and Brooklyn had to limit their comments on Instagram. But now Brooklyn is speaking out and exposing everything, and it just might not be how everybody sees it or how it has been painted for a long time. Brooklyn came out to say, "I've been silent for years and made every effort to keep these matters private. Unfortunately, my parents and their team have continued to go to the press, leaving me with no choice but to speak for myself and tell the truth about only some of the lies that have been printed. I do not want to reconcile with my family. I'm not being controlled. I'm standing up for myself for the first time in my life. For my entire life, my parents has controlled narrative in the press about our family. The performative social media posts, family events, and inauthentic relationship have been a fixture of the life I was born into. Recently, I've seen with my own eyes the lengths they will go to place countless lies in the media, mostly at the expense of innocent people, to preserve their own facade. But I believe the truth always comes out." I said that his parents has been talking to the media and controlling the narrative. "My parents have been trying endlessly to ruin my relationship since before my wedding, and it hasn't stopped. As I said before, the problem started even before the wedding. My mom cancelled making Nicola's dress in the 11th hour, despite how excited she was to wear her design, saying that it wasn't Nicole that chose to wear a Valentino dress, but just the fact that her mother-in-law didn't have her dress ready, forcing her to urgently find a new dress. Weeks before our big day, my parents repeatedly pressured and attempted to bribe me into signing away the rights to my name, which would have affected me, my wife, and our future children. They were adamant on me signing before my wedding date because then the terms of the deal would be initiated. My holdout affected the payday, and they have never treated me the same since. During the wedding planning, my mom went so far as to call me evil because Nicola and I chose to include my nanny Sandra and Nicole's nonna at our table because they both didn't have their husbands. Both of our parents had their own tables equally adjacent to ours. The night before our wedding, members of my family told me that Nicola was not blood and not family. Since the moment I started standing up for myself with my family, I've received endless attacks from my parents, both privately and publicly, that were sent to the press on their orders. Even my brothers were sent to attack me on social media before they ultimately blocked me out of nowhere this last summer. Now, Brooklyn is trying to say that he was not the one that blocked his family, but his brothers blocked him. My mom hijacked my first dance with my wife, which has been planned weeks in advance to a romantic love song. In front of over 500 wedding guests, Mark Anthony called me to the stage where in the schedule was planned to be my romantic dance with my wife, but instead, my mom was waiting to dance with me instead. She danced very inappropriately on me in front of everyone. I've never felt more uncomfortable or humiliated in my entire life. We wanted to renew our vows so we could create new memories of our wedding day that bring us joy and happiness, not anxiety and embarrassment. Friends said that their wedding didn't go as planned because his mother and his family were doing certain things that were not right by them, and that is one of the reasons why they had to renew their wedding. And as I said before, the wedding renewal did not include any of the Beckham family members. My wife has been consistently disrespected by my family, no matter how hard we have tried to come together as one. My mom has repeatedly invited women from my past into our life in ways that were clearly intended to make us both uncomfortable. As I said before, his brother is currently dating his ex. Despite this, we still traveled to London for my dad's birthday and were rejected for a week as we waited in our hotel room trying to plan quality time with him. He refused all of our attempts unless it was at his big birthday party with 100 guests and cameras at every corner. When he finally agreed to see me, it was under the condition that Nicola wasn't invited. It was a slap in the face. Later, when my family traveled to LA, they refused to see me at all. And this issue about them not going to his father's birthday came out in the news. My family values public promotion and endorsements above all else. Brand Beckham comes first. Family love is decided by how much you post on social media or how quickly you drop everything to show up and post for a family photo op, even at the expense of our professional obligations. We've gone out of our way for years to show up and support at every fashion show, every party, and every press activity to show our perfect family. But the one time my wife asked for my mom's support to save displaced dog during the LA fire, my mom refused. And truly, there was a time where Brooklyn Beckham and Nicola Beckham was always going to the Beckham's fashion show. They were always there, always with his sister, always in the family pictures, and everybody thought all was well. But now it seems like they were just trying to salvage the relationship and trying to put in their own effort to know if the relationship is going to work, but it still didn't. The narrative that my wife controls me is completely backward. I've been controlled by my parents for most of my life. I grew up with overwhelming anxiety. For the first time in my life since stepping away from my family, that anxiety has disappeared. I wake up every morning grateful for the life I choose and have found peace and relief. My wife and I do not want a life shaped by image, press, or manipulation. All we want is peace, privacy, and happiness for us and our future family. And he has the right to that. Do I believe him? I think I do, because boy moms are an epidemic. But at the same time, I don't know enough of the family dynamics to make anything or say anything or judge anybody. But I hope that everybody is going to leave Brooklyn and his wife alone and stop bombarding them with hate comments or dragging them in their comment section. They actually had to limit their comments because of the hate. It was so much. So just leave them alone.